viewers, welcome to Mr. Robert's online class. In today's class, we are going to solve this question which asks us to show that n combination r minus 1 plus n combination r equals n plus 1 combination r. So this is what we are expected to show. After our solving, we should be able to make our left hand side and our right hand side equal. To show that the left hand side and the right hand side are equal. Now let us go by the definition of, in terms of formula, definition of combination. If I am given n combination r, the formula is n factorial all over n minus r factorial, then r factorial. Remember, this is different from permutation. In permutation, you do not bring back this r factorial, but in combination, you bring this r factorial. Permutation means arrangement, while combination means selection. You want to know how to select things out of. Maybe you have questions in exams, 5 questions to answer, only 3. You can be of liberty to answer the first 1, 2, 3. You can answer 1, 2, 5. You can answer 1, 2, 4, and so on. Now, the number of ways of selecting the question is what we call combination. Now, this is the formula. Let me put this in a box. Take note of this. This is the formula for combination. So, if you are given n plus 1 combination r, this is our right hand side. Let us start with the right hand side. Let us start with the right hand side. If you are given n plus 1 combination r, what we are going to do, let us follow this. We pick the factorial of each of one. N plus 1 factorial all over. We take the difference of this and this. So what we have is n plus 1 minus r factorial. Then we have r factorial. N plus 1 minus r factorial, then r factorial. This is what we have at the left hand side. After our solution, after our working, we are expected to have this side to be the same thing. So if we can get it, that means we've been able to show that the left hand side and the right hand side are equal. So let us consider the left hand side. Left hand side. The first thing we have is n combination r minus 1. Then we have n combination r. N combination r minus 1 is, we pick what? N factorial, the first, followed by n minus r minus 1. Please, anytime you have more than one bracket in operation like this and you want to cover, use a bigger bracket. So we use a bigger bracket at this point. Then we have r minus 1 factorial. Then I will not bother myself again to have n combination r because I have already written down the relation for n minus r from n combination r. Sorry. So what we have is n factorial all over n minus r factorial, then r factorial. So the next thing is to evaluate this table. It's only to evaluate the first thing. You know, we have bracket and we have this. Let us remove this bracket. Anytime there is a negative sign before a bracket, that means that all the signs of the things inside the bracket will be altered as you remove the bracket. So the sign of r that is positive here will become negative, and the sign of 1 that is negative will become positive. So what we have is n minus r plus 1 factorial. Then we have r minus 1 factorial. Then n factorial all over n minus r factorial. factorial r factorial. We've not changed anything here, so I only simplified this to have. So let us look at what we can do at this point. See what I am going to do. Is look at this example. If I have 14 factorial, I can decide to rewrite 14 as what? 14 times 13 times 12. If I don't want to write further, I can write it 12 factorial. 12 factorial means it continues. I can keep on doing what? Multiplying it by 11, 10, and so on until I get to 1. The same thing is what I am going to do here. If I have n minus r plus 1 factorial, it's the same thing as rewriting it as what? N minus r plus 1 times, I reduce this expression by 1, just like reducing 14 by 1 to have 13. If I reduce this by 1, what I will have is n minus r alone. 1 will go. So I don't need to go further again, so I put factorial, that means it continues. The subtraction, the multiplication by a decreasing number continues. So in place of this n minus r plus 1 factorial, I will use this expression. Please take note. So what I will do is n factorial all over n minus r plus 1, n minus r factorial. We are done with that. Then we have r minus 1 factorial. So we are done with that. The same thing we have here. I will do something like that. R factorial means r times r minus 1. I supposed to say r minus 1 times r minus 2, r minus 3, but I don't want all those things. So I stop at r minus 1 factorial, which means r minus 1 times r minus 2 times r minus 3. So in place of r factorial, I am going to use this relation. Please take note of this. So what we have is n factorial all over n minus r factorial. In place of r, I have this r times r minus 1 factorial. So what we are going to do at this point is we factorize. Look at the common terms. And the common terms, we pull it out. Now at first, the first thing I will pull out is n factorial, considering the numerator. N factorial and n factorial. I have n factorial what, and in the first fraction, I have n factorial in the second fraction. So they are common. I pull it out. What else is common? I have n minus r factorial. I have n minus r factorial. So I have n minus r factorial. I pull it out. What I have next is n r minus 1 factorial. I have it here. These two terms are what? Common. So what I will do, I will pull it out. Now in that case, after I have pulled n out, what is left is 1. After I have pulled these two things out, what we have is n minus r plus 1. The same thing, after pulling out these two things, what is left is only r. So what I need to do at this point is to express these fractions as a single fraction. So that will take me to my idea of my LCM. You know, to add fractions, that the denominators are not the same, are not what the same. You do what? You follow for LCM. You call those type of fractions unlike fractions. So at this point, what I will do is look for the LCM. LCM is r bracket n minus r plus 1. Anytime you are looking for LCM of numbers that do not have common factors, just multiply. For instance, LCM of 5 and 6. As far as there is no common factor other than 1, only other common number that can go into 5 and 6, you are at liberty to multiply 5 and 6. which is what? 30. That is the same thing we do here. Now, what we do is LCM divided by this denominator. That is the formula for adding fractions. LCM divided, let me say LCM divided by denominator times numerator. Just take it there anytime you want to add fractions. So when we divide LCM divided by the denominator, what is left? If this cancels out, what is left is R. For instance, you have R times n minus r plus 1 divided by n minus r plus 1. If you divide this way and this cancels out, what we have is r. Then use the r to multiply the numerator. But the numerator is 1. That will make what? R times 1. R times 1 is what? R. The same thing here. If you decide to divide through by what? R. And r cancels r. What is left now is n minus r plus 1. Now r minus r goes. So what we have is n factorial all over n minus r factorial, then r minus 1 factorial. At this point, we have n plus 1 all over n minus r plus 1. So we only have a single fraction, so I can multiply. Remember, when you multiply a fraction, 1 over 2 times 1 over 3, numerator multiplies numerator, while denominator multiplies denominator. So what we have is 1 times 1 all over 2 times 3. That is the same thing we have here. The first thing we do, this n plus 1 times n factorial, we have n plus 1 times n factorial. The same thing here. We did not put this r. So I'm going to do it this way. This will go with this. So what I have is n minus r plus 1 times n minus r factorial. Then we have r times r minus 1 factorial. So what do we mean by this? Now take note of the expression. When I gave you n plus 1 factorial. N plus 1 factorial means n plus 1 times. If you reduce this expression by 1, what you have is n factorial and so on. So instead of this expression, I will pick this one again. So what we have is n plus 1 factorial. The same thing with this. This will give us n minus r plus 1 factorial. The same thing when I gave r, I erased it. R factorial means r times r minus 1 factorial. So in place of this, I will have what? R factorial. Now this is my left hand side. Let us compare with what we have at the right hand side. Our right hand side is n plus 1 factorial. N plus 1 factorial. All over n plus 1 minus r. We can either still write it as n minus r plus 1. It doesn't change the order provided we shift it well. So what we have is n minus r plus 1 factorial and we have r factorial. So at that point, our left hand side and our right hand side are equal. So we have shown. Thank you very much for staying till the end of the class. Do well to share, subscribe, and do what? Give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you have more videos. And do have a wonderful time.